So that's why my bias is bullish, because when we are this historically overextended to the downside and we are loading up the heaviest at the bottoms and we are the most aggressive towards the long side at the bottoms, it becomes a much higher risk reward for a potential bounce to levels of resistance. All right. So that's why I'm just blindly bullish. That's why this morning I was blindly bullish with my targets to the upside, as well as just buying as we fell to multiple levels of support. Most likely what's going to end up happening tomorrow as well if we are red. So right now it really pays to be bullish. What's going on, everyone? So I post all of my plays completely for free on Twitter. Overnight, we were holding on to some swings. Obviously, those worked out as well because, you know, the market opened up green. Those were probably, I think those were up 15 to 20%, depending on when you bought them at the open. So we sold those. Those worked out fine. Then towards the end of the day, I alerted some more plays. And then these were basically up 15 to 20%. If you have other brokerages that you can sell at 4:15 p.m., you know, those are up huge. Okay, so I alert all of these plays completely for free. I keep you guys up to date live with everything that I do on Twitter. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what the next steps are for the market. I'm going to talk about the SPY, the IWM, the NASDAQ, the 30-year bond, and the crypto market. All right, so stay tuned and let's get this money. So number one, I made a video explaining why I wanted to see the MACD, first of all, on the SPY to begin to, you know, start moving upwards. That's exactly what we're seeing. So right now, yes, technically the MACD is overbought, but it needed to get overbought in order for the momentum to start shifting upwards. That's exactly what's going on right now. Hedge funds and banks look at this stuff, okay? They look at this stuff. They're privy to this. So that's what I'm trying to share with you guys. And, you know, I said yesterday a very important level of resistance was going to be this 451.16 and 450.37 level. As we broke above that level, that is essentially when I started to alert calls. And then into the close, man, the SPY and the NASDAQ, everything just started to pop off. So that worked out beautifully. All right, so now moving forward, you can see that this trend line right here that we have is exactly on the 20 exponential moving average. So tomorrow, the new level of resistance on the SPY is going to be 454.85. If we can reclaim this trend line and start trading above, that is going to be ridiculous strength. I like that. That would be ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it's completely possible, because if in March, the entire market is going to end up becoming more bearish and it's going to become, you know, interest rates are going to hike and quantitative easing is going to stop, when would be the last time bulls can be bulls? February. All right. So, you know, it makes more sense to keep a bullish suit on before macroeconomic changes happen in the economy. All right. So, it would be amazing if we reclaim this, but again, it's still bullish if we come back and retest levels of support. And, you know, that would still be a bull flag if we come back, fall down to this trend line here. But at this point, I don't know if that's going to happen. Of course, I could be completely wrong, but that is going to be the next level of resistance on the SPY. If we reclaim this level, that's going to be ridiculous strength. So yeah, just keep that in mind. We go ahead and take a look at the moving averages. See, the 50 is very, very far away still, so it's not really a big deal on the SPY. But that's really it. So we have these levels of support to the downside, 451.16 and 450.37. And we have the resistance level to the upside, okay? So overall, super bullish. Google just had earnings, super bullish. AMD just had earnings, super bullish. So that's why the SPY is up in the after hours. That's why the NASDAQ is up in the after hours. All right, so there's my analysis on the SPY. Let's go ahead and take a look at the IWM. Here's the IWM. I was showing you guys that there was positive divergence on the daily chart of the IWM on the RSI, which is very, very good. The price was falling, yet the RSI was starting to move upwards. Super, super bullish, guys. Okay?
super bullish. So that's why I was even more bullish on the indices, because I saw this positive divergence on the RSI for the IWM. Bro, this is, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. We closed above the levels of resistance I said that we had. So we clearly closed above 201.50. And now the IWM is at a bit of resistance here at the 50% Fibonacci level. I was showing you guys this 50% Fibonacci level. I was showing how the SPY was at this level and it was trading above. I honestly just go ahead and watch the Sunday's video. Now, the IWM needs to close above 203.74. All right. If it can close above 203.74, and if we can break above 204.81, then this is going to be a really, really good chance that we come back and retest this trend line here. And if we come back and retest the trend line and break above, expect a a retest, and then sky's the limit at this point for this month. Until we see a macroeconomic change, all of this, I am 100% aware, could just be a dead cat bounce. That's completely fine. But we're trading the charts, we're trading people's emotions, and we are basically, making money either way. All right, so 203.74 needs to break to the upside. The MACD moving up like this, it's not overbought. It is overbought technically, right? But it's a good sign that the MACD yellow line is starting to move upwards. That's exactly what we needed to see. We needed to see the momentum of the indicator beginning to move upwards. And that's what we see right now. These are the two levels of resistance, 204.81 and 203.74. The level of support obviously is going to be a very, very important psychological level, which is 200 and 201.50. All right, so really there's my analysis for the IWM. If the SPY and the NASDAQ are up heavy in the, if they open up really strong, the IWM might have some money taken out, and that money might be funneled into the tech sector and the SPY. But, towards the middle of the day, maybe, usually what happens is when there is a huge push in one sector, in the tech sector, for example, intraday, as the tech sector begins to lag, the money gets funneled into the IWM or, different sectors. So just keep that in mind. All right. Overall, the entire market looks bullish. So regardless, the little nitty gritty 50 cent, $1 moves, irrelevant at this point. There's my analysis on the IWM. Let's go ahead and take a look at the large tech stocks, the 30-year bond, and the NASDAQ. All right, last week, Apple absolutely crushed earnings. It was basically the main reason why the NASDAQ and the SPY, one of the main reasons why the NASDAQ and the SPY really, really started to shoot upwards. Because when you see strength out of Apple, which is one of the largest stocks in the world, when you see that strength, it's very possible and likely that the rest of the market should be following that strength, and it was basically looked at that as a really good sign. Today, Apple was a bit more stagnant, only because there was such a strong move in Apple. People, banks and hedge funds sold out of their Apple positions and repositioned themselves into the lagging stocks. All right, so Apple, regardless, still very, very bullish here. All right, let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft also had a bit of a stagnant, day. Held support, still in a bullish situation here on Microsoft. So it's not a huge deal that it looks like this. It held the 20 exponential moving average. And of course, after a big reversal like this, it's normal for a bit of a stagnation period. All right, now let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon, obviously one of the worst acting stocks. On Sunday, I was showing that the MACD on Amazon was still oversold. So it would be a really good opportunity to go long into the entire stock market, because when Amazon is looking so garbage, but it's near support, it's a really, really good risk reward buying opportunity. Amazon bounced clearly, hundreds of dollars since that video, right? And now we have earnings soon as well. So things look bullish for Amazon, especially overnight. If Google opens green and the entire tech sector is green, Amazon's going to be very, very bullish tomorrow as well. It has strong resistance at 31.26. All right, so just keep that in mind for Amazon. Look at Facebook. Facebook had a really, really strong day. It has earnings tomorrow, after hours. So, you know, expect, holy crap, bro. It's up to 320. I'm not sure if this is wrong, but it's at 326 apparently in the after hours, which is a very, very important level of resistance here. 326.10. So if this is the case, then the entire tech sector is taking heed of Google's strength and Google's basically beat. And Google is also doing a 20-to-1 stock split. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. But basically, 326.15 is a 326.10 is a very important level of resistance now for Facebook. All right. Clearly see strength there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Google. Oh, let's type things properly first. God. Yeah, man. It looks like Google is going to open outside of the upper level of the B band. Ridiculous. Honestly, this is ridiculous. And they're having a 20-to-1 stock split. So their most recent all-time high was 30.37. All right, so if we can, so 30.37 is obviously going to be resistance. With the news of a 20-to-1 stock split, usually what happens is stocks tend to rally like crazy. What happened with Tesla when they had their first stock split, that's when Tesla hit 1,000. So this is going to be ridiculous on Google. Google is a $1 trillion company. It's not Tesla. So, well, it wasn't Tesla when it first, you know, split. So this is going to be a potentially a monstrous move. And since Google is up so much in the after hours, the NASDAQ, that's why we saw Facebook is probably up in the after hours as well. All of them are going to be taking notice of this. And money is funneling into the tech sector right now. So our calls are going to be up. So, which is great. So, yeah, there's my analysis for the larger stocks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-year bond. All right, so we're not getting much help from the 30-year bond. The long-term bonds, right? We're not getting much help from them. It was basically stagnant. It made a very indecisive candle here. Closed. It looks like it's about to close below resistance. 155.14. But if Google can lift the market up regardless of what the 30-year bond is doing for today and tomorrow, right? Because Google had such ridiculously strong earnings, regardless, even if the 30-year bond tomorrow falls back down to 153 maybe. And I mean, I'm talking about pre-market. If pre-market the 30-year bonds are red, not necessarily that low, but if they're red tomorrow morning, but Google is still up $150 or $200, this isn't going to really mean that much in the short term. All right, so our calls and everything should still be up relatively well. So yeah, so as we can see, the Bollinger Bands are starting to curl and squeeze much faster, right? So that's what I was saying. Basically, you could see that the Bollinger Bands are starting to fall. And once you get a squeeze, when the upper and the lower level of the Bollinger Bands start to meet, right? Usually a very explosive move happens right afterward. So, you know, this could be setting up for a huge one leg upwards or one leg down. Who knows? But at this point, my analysis essentially is if in February we do go back up and continue, you know, with the SPY breaking above 460 and higher, etc., the 30-year bond should do well. So when the 30-year bond is bullish, the overall stock market is also bullish. So, you know, we could see a huge squeeze to the upside, break above this level of resistance at 157. We might even come back at 158. So if that is the case, you know, the markets should be really, really green. So if the markets are doing really, really well right now with the 30-year bonds basically stagnating in a rectangle, once the 30-year bonds start breaking above levels of resistance, that should be very, very good for the indices market. And it's bullish that we're basically kind of just holding this level of support right now. We're in this little stagnation mode. We're accumulating. The MACD yellow line is moving upwards, which means that momentum is shifting upwards as well. All in all, you know, this is what we want to see, essentially. We wouldn't want to see a strong V reversal because macroeconomically that would be impossible. So this is the next best thing, essentially, to happen for the 30-year bonds. So there's that for the bonds. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ or the QQQ. All right, so number one, the NASDAQ has resistance here. I mean, it closed at resistance at 366.50. All right. It looks in the post market, we're up $3. All right. So let's see if that movement sustains itself into the open tomorrow. If that's the case, our calls are going to be up even more because at the close, they were up 15, 20%. So if we open up even above 370, 367.50 or 367, regardless, the calls are going to be up like 30% at least. So we have this level of resistance here, which is the 618% fib at 368.79. So that is going to be the main level of resistance on the NASDAQ here. And then obviously, you know, if we open above 366.50, that's going to be the main level of support. All right. So, I mean, really, that's really it, man. We've been calling this bottom. I post all of my plays on Twitter. I tell you guys why I'm entering these plays because, you know, either the SPY looked bullish at the close or the SPY broke above levels of resistance. Multiple reasons, and that's really it. We take these plays, I share them with you guys, we all make money. Everything's great. We're all happy. So moving forward, if we break above 368.79, we're going to continue going up higher. And then obviously 370 is going to be the next level of resistance. Sorry, no, 369.31 is going to be the next level of resistance, and then 370. So, look, man, it is what it is. This is a beautiful move. The markets just moved beautifully. And, yeah, there's my analysis for the stock market. Let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto market. All right, so this immediately is not the most bullish scenario. The SPY and Bitcoin were having... Basically, they were moving in confluence, right? But obviously, since the equities were just so beaten down and we had earnings week, essentially, that's why we don't see Bitcoin breaking above 39,500 and making huge moves, right? We can see today it stopped exactly at the 20 exponential moving average, which is not the best sign. And the yellow MACD line is not really moving upwards; it's just stagnant here. And I mean. Really, it's for Bitcoin right now, it's just a matter of price action. So as long as Bitcoin can really stay above 38,200 in the short term and close above 38,200, so the next, 2 hours, whatever. Even if we come back and retest 37,000, basically we have to look at the closes of these candles. That's going to be the most important thing. So if we can remain above 37,700, 37,500, and hold that level, that would give more potential for this MACD to fall even sharper, because as we can also see, the MACD is starting to move downwards, but the price is moving upwards. So the RSI is also moving upwards. So it's really, technically right now for Bitcoin, it's really a 50-50. The MACD, so usually when the yellow MACD line is trading above 0. All right, so I wish I showed you guys. I mean, whatever. So when the yellow MACD line, you can see it's negative 1125 right now, right? But now say, for example, this yellow MACD line was above 0 over here. And this blue, right? You see how the blue line is starting to move downwards, right? But the price of Bitcoin is moving upwards. That would be ridiculously bullish. That would be so bullish, okay? But the fact that the MACD line is below 0 and this blue MACD line is falling, that's not as bullish. Okay? Still bullish, but it's not as bullish. And that's why I'm a bit more weary for Bitcoin's move moving forward. And essentially we really just become bullish again, we need to break above 39,600. And then we need to break above these trend lines here, which is approximately going to be like 40,000. So if we can do that, that would be really good, because we also need this yellow MACD line to start moving upwards. On Sunday's video, I was showing how, because Bitcoin was so overextended to the upside on the blue MACD line, whereas the indices still had to catch up, right? Now it looks like money is being funneled into the equities while Bitcoin is remaining stagnant. Okay, so money could potentially start funneling back into the crypto market now, because, you know, hedge funds and banks are involved in this space. So just be wary. This isn't a bearish, you know, development as long as we can remain above 37,700, in my opinion. So any sort of, you know, stagnation, accumulation that's going on at these prices is completely normal, but don't get chopped. All right, so there's my analysis for Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. I thought Sol said 117. I had to take a second look. All right, so Ethereum. All right, so you can see that it's obviously way more bullish than Bitcoin. The MACD line is not falling downwards, it's moving upwards, and the RSI is also moving upwards. It looks way more bullish. All right, so essentially, if Ethereum can reclaim this 2,900 level and this downtrend level, that is going to be super, super bullish. And clearly Ethereum is leading Bitcoin right now. It's outperforming it at the moment. So, you know, we just have to really just monitor if Bitcoin can break above 39.6 and if Ethereum can break above this trend line here. All right, so that's really it. Any sort of the support short term on Ethereum would be today's lows at approximately 2676, and then it would have to be around 2600. So 2600 is basically going to be the main level of support for Ethereum. I gave you guys the levels of support for Bitcoin. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, do all that good stuff. And yeah, man, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.